feel like I could sit down for this one.
At least the water's going. Can't tell if there's anybody on. That's part that sucks.
You just have to guess, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell you. Sylvia says hello.
Hi, Sylvia. Sylvia wanted to come. She thought it was
Meg
that.
says hi, Dada.
What's up, guys? Hi, Colin. Hi, Sophia.
Corked in Connecticut says ciao.
What's up, guys? How are you? All right, let's get started. Tagliatelle Bolognese. So we're not at Grana today because we got kicked out of Grana because Grana had a party in the mezzanine. So we're actually renting a space in a friend of mine's office. So this is called 360 Media. She's a PR company, 360. And they're nice enough to let us use it. So we're kind of got a weird space here. We're gonna figure out how to make this work. And it's getting hot in here already just from some boiling water. So I may start sweating at some point. All right, so Tagliatelle Bolognese. Let's get everything prepped first because it's easy to cook. The cooking process is very fast. So first things first, let's start with our beef, okay? So we have ground beef, ground pork. That's all we're gonna use. I couldn't find chicken livers today. I went to 15 grocery stores. So if you do have the chicken livers at home, use them. If you don't, it's okay. I also have scraps of prosciutto that I had cut already. I'm gonna cut them down just a little bit finer. And those are our three meats we're gonna use. Again, we don't have the chicken liver, so we can't use it. So now we're gonna get our vegetables ready, okay? So carrot, celery, an onion, and then some garlic. All right. So key to this, guys, is you want to pulverize this as much as possible. You don't want to really see many of these veggies in here. So these are one of those things where you're definitely going to want to take your time on doing this. It's going to make your life a lot easier because you don't want chunks of garlic or anything like that inside of your bolognese. All right. So first things first is backside of your knife on top of the garlic, smash. So it does that. Same thing. Other one, smash. Bacon the table. And then you're gonna do your slices, okay? All right, we're gonna turn it and do it again because you want it to go as fine as possible. All right, a little bit more. Just like that. We're gonna take that garlic and we're gonna move it over because now we're gonna cut the rest of the stuff, all right? Garlic, move over. Now, onion. Same way we always do it. Take this little piece off because you don't need that. And then it's gonna be slicing towards you.
Tony Siciliano said, what are we cooking?
Tone, we're doing bolognese, bro. Tell
Sydney
Melissa
says,
sign
hi.
in and watch. Who said what?
Sydney said, hi, miss you guys.
All right, right in through here. Okay, and then same thing, and you're pushing the knife away from you because you're slicing the onions. And like we always say, there's no crying in cooking, so you don't want to start crying. All right, I'm trying to go slow, guys, because I was told that I'm too fast on this stuff, so I'm trying to go really slow. So you guys can really watch, paying attention to this. And then if you don't end up getting it in the first shot, I need to. All right. So same thing, you turn it the other way and give that a nice chop. And then same thing like this. All right, we try not to throw anything away. So any of these little scraps that you always have, like this, or like maybe these garlic scraps that I had that I took off, that goes in your stock if you're ever gonna make some stock, all right? Next, we're gonna do the celery. So the celery, what I like to do is I cut it in half, all right? And then I take that piece, I find a flat edge, and I cut it into thirds, okay? So that's there, and then same thing with this guy, find a flat edge, 1, 2. All right, and then you turn it sideways. You can do the same exact thing as you did before. You're slicing, you're not chopping. Again, guys, my knife is really sharp. I mean, this is what I do for a living, so I gotta make sure my knife's always sharp. But if your knife's not sharp at home, you definitely wanna get it sharp. One of the ways, if you recently sharpened it and you need to put an edge on it, is using a steel. So that's what this guy is here. Right, so it's starting at the bottom, going to the top, just doing this. And if you get really good at it, you go up and down at the same time. So as you're going up, you're coming down. And what I do is I do basically about a 30-degree angle. I'm not trying to go any more. I'm trying to keep my edge as sharp as possible as opposed to a point. All right, so just like that. And then you go faster as you get better. All right. Now, we're gonna finish up this celery. All right. 1, 2, and then this guy's a little bit bigger, so we're gonna cut this guy into quarters. Because again, you don't want huge chunks of any of these veggies. You could easily take this and then put it on a microplane and grate it. You could also put it in a blender and blend it with a little bit of oil. But what's the fun in that, right? We're cooking instead of making it the fast way. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it the right way. So what we're making here, right? This mixture of carrot, onion, and celery and a little bit of garlic. This is what the Italians call Sofrito, all right? So Sofrito is basically the base to a lot of sauces. Or they throw it in certain things to give it a little extra flavor. And then you cook it to different stages, so like a blonde stage or like a darker stage. It all depends on how far you want to take it. This one we're gonna take pretty far because I want a lot of flavor in it. And you're gonna see, we're gonna do that in a second. We're gonna cook off all of our meat first because it lets off a lot of grease and we wanna get rid of all that grease. We don't want the grease in our bolognese. All right, same thing, turn this guy sideways. Slice. Normally used to a bigger cutting board, but I got this tiny one today, so gonna make sure I don't run out of room. All right, and then same thing with the carrots, right? So I do the same thing. I basically take one side, I cut it like that, put it aside, and I turn this way so I have a flat side, right? So I'm gonna do the same thing I was doing before. I'm gonna cut them into nice thin pieces, and I could easily take this later and give this a nice chop, right? Then I just stack a couple pieces on top of each other just like this. And make sure it's going in the same direction. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Super thin, right? Just like that. Slicing, not chopping. Chopping is this movement here. That's not what we're doing. We're slicing the carrots. I try to mimic the way that a scissor would look. So it's scissors go this way with it. So it's the same idea. You're just doing it with a knife. So this one, guys, a lot of knife work. Again, you could obviously throw this in a blender if you need to, but I want to show you guys that, you know, sometimes this is how difficult it is to make one dish. So this is not the bolognese we serve at Grana or White Bull. This one's more of a home easy one to do. The one at Grana and White Bull is a lot more difficult. There's veal in the one at White Bull. We cook it with milk at White Bull instead of what we have as ingredients here. At Grana, I'm sorry, this is at Grana. At White Bull, we use mortadella, prosciutto, we use actual meat that we grind ourselves in-house, so it takes a little bit longer to do. The one at Grana is the one that I've had basically at every restaurant I've ever owned or ran, and it's been a fan favorite for a very long time. So anytime we open a new restaurant, I change the bolognese up a little bit. So this is basically the bolognese I would have on the menu at Bastone with the chicken livers in it, because Bastone is more of a restaurant that starts in Lazio and ends in Campania. It doesn't really go any higher than that or any lower than that. There's no real Sicilian food that we're putting on the menu here. Where Grana is your restaurant that is basically the southern part of the Italian peninsula. So Grana is your Campania, Molise, and south areas. So, all right, so let's finish this up. The carrot, same thing. Cut off a little piece, turn it, thin slices, so easy to chop. Don't cut your finger.
The son of Italy Apparel says, I could never cut, dice, or chop. You make it look so easy.
I've been cooking for exactly 23 years now, so if I'm not good at this, it'd be a problem. But, you know, I mean, just keep with it. I mean, you know, use your fingers as guides. You know, I use my knuckles as guides. There's plenty of times where I've taken all of this off for sure, but it's all trial and error. I mean, it sucks, you cut yourself, but, you know, throw everything out on your cutting board and start from scratch. But yeah, I mean, I've taken multiple parts of my hand and my finger off over time. My first time using the steel, I actually sliced all this down, and that was a real pain in the ass. It was like literally my second day on the job, and I thought I was gonna get fired, but good thing I was a really good dishwasher, so they couldn't let me go. Still, shout out to me being the best dishwasher in the game, ever. I would bang out plates faster than anybody could ever imagine. And if Corey or Angelo ever watches any of these lives, they could tell you. And all I needed was $50 and an order of fried calamari. It was fantastic. It was the cheapest labor in the world. All right, same thing. Finishing up this last guy here. Guys, again, if you're not anywhere near this right now, then take your time and do it the right way. I'm gonna go through it a little bit faster just because, you know, I don't want to keep you guys on here for an hour and a half. I want to get this done so you guys can eat. All right, just like that. Set that aside. You don't need that for a second. And now let's get everything going, all right? So first things first, throw your feet on. Come on. There we go. All right, heat on. I got it on high. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil, not a lot, a little bit, just like that. And as the oil's still cold, I'm gonna throw in the prosciutto, okay? Because I want to get this prosciutto nice and cooked off. I want to get all that fat out, render it all out. All right. So I finally found, because we're here, I found somebody who had a wooden spoon, so I'm gonna use a wooden spoon. Why not? Sorry, Tara, if you're watching, I'll clean it and I'll put it back, I promise. But I got this guy on high because basically what I want to do is, again, I want to render all this fat off, right? But this thing is really hot and it's blowing right into my face. Getting a facial as I'm cooking. It's fantastic.
Cooking Vin says, what do we cook?
Who's that?
Cooking Vin.
What are we cooking?
Yeah.
Bolognese, bro. All right. Pasta water's boiling. You always salt your pasta water, right? So you put a good amount. Don't be afraid. We're going to taste it in a second, see if it tastes like the sea. That's what we want. Make sure we don't set off any fire. All right. You want to keep moving these guys because the minute you stop, it's probably going to burn. So just keep moving these around. So now, the other thing you guys are going to see at the end of this is because we came off premise with it, I forgot a plate. So we're going to eat it right out of the saute pan after, all right? But I don't think you really need me to show you how to plate food and pasta. So, all right, I'm going to turn this guy down just a little bit, all right? And now is the time to give my pasta water a little taste and see where we're at for salt. So don't worry about burning your mouth. My taste buds are gone. My lips have been burnt for years. All right, perfect. And you can see in the pan, there's a lot more fat in there than there was before, and that's fine. We want that. We're gonna want that fat to render everything else off. And you can already see a lot of the fat's gone. It's already been rendered down. It's probably one of my favorite pastas to make, even though it realistically has nothing to do with my culture yet, but we're from the South, so nobody's ever taught me how to make this. I had to teach myself. When I worked in New York City, I used to work for Mario Batali, and this was basically a rendition of his menu, his bolognese. I've added things over the years for sure, but I wanted to make sure I stayed true to what a bolognese is. So as you can tell, guys, there's not much tomato sauce in a bolognese. When you put tomato sauce in a bolognese, it becomes meat sauce, and that's Neapolitan. Or Italian American, but it's not realistically Italian. All right, so we're gonna take out this prosciutto. All right, we're gonna make sure we save all that fat. We don't want to get rid of that fat. All right, now turn this heat down a little bit because I don't want this oil to burn or the fat to burn. And we're gonna put in our beef first. Okay, and then our pork. And basically, you want to brown the meat now, okay? So what I do is give it a little chop, just like that. And I move it just a little bit, and I want this to brown nice, all right? So I'm going to give that a second. That's also why I turn down the heat a little bit. And I don't want this to burn. Last thing you want is burnt beef and burnt pork. It's disgusting.
The son of Italy Apparel said, representing Sicilia over here, long live the South.
I love it, man. I'm not doing it at Bostone, but at Grana's got a lot of Sicilian dishes on it, so. All right, and a lot of Sicilian wine, One of my favorite areas to drink wine right now. All right, move this guy around a little bit. You can see it's already cooking and browning. Try not to burn Emilio today. Give that a sec. Do the old man dad stance. Time. Move that around a little bit more. Now, the most important thing, guys, is chopping this up, right? The last thing you want is clunky meat because the bolognese isn't going to be evenly done. So you want to make sure that you're really moving this meat around and breaking it up, all right? You don't want big chunks of meat in here. All right, we're almost there. Just like that. Same idea we did before. We're gonna take this meat out, keep all that fat in the pan. You can mix it with the prosciutto now, doesn't matter. Everything's cooked, so there's no cross-contamination. Everything's been brought to temp, so we're not really worried. Get all that out. There's a little bit left in the pan, it's not a big deal, because you'll see what we're gonna do in a second. All right, now, heat's on high. We've got all that fat in there, right? We're gonna leave that fat in there because we want it to cook this, all right? So all the veggies go in at the same time. All right, your carrots, your onion, your celery, your garlic, all goes in at the same time. We're gonna cook this quite a bit because I like to have my sofrito be a little bit on the darker side. Anytime I've ever made this dish for anybody, or anybody's taught me how to make this dish, they don't take it all the way down like I do. I just really like that caramelization. So we're gonna cook that down a little bit. All right, it's on high, right? And we want to sweat this down, add a little bit of color. So the first part of seasoning is right now, all right? Because all that liquid needs to come out of all this stuff, and by adding salt, it's going to draw the liquid out. So if you ever add salt on a piece of fish or a piece of steak and walk away, it'll come back, there'll be water on top. And we're not trying to burn this, right? So no, we're not trying to get color till the end. We're going to caramelize it at the last second. But this is still on high and you're still moving it around. This would be a perfect time for a wine break. I didn't bring any because we're not in the restaurant. And to be honest with you, Amelia was kind of late and I was going to send her to go get wine, but she was late. All right?
It wasn't that late.
So let it cook. You can smell all the garlic, the onion, the celery, and the carrots doing this thing. It smells fantastic. This is so good.
Bro,
Yeah, nobody to bring it to you guys eat it.
I've eaten all day.
No, same. Starving. All right, we need to let that cook a little bit more. So let's talk about pasta and why I use tagliatelle for this, right? So at Grana, we use cavatelli, right? I love cavatelli. Cavatelli to me is a southern pasta. And again, Grana is Napolitan and South pasta, restaurant. So we're gonna wanna keep it pretty traditional there. Where White Bowl, on the other hand, to me is more of a pushing the limits of Italian cuisine and really just kind of doing what the hell you want and, playing at the beat of your own drum type thing. So for there, tagliatelle is actually the real way to make bolognese sauce, right? So people like to use pappardelle, but like when you go to Parma, Modena, Bologna, all these areas, they love their tagliatelle, right? They also love their tortellini, but every once in a while you'll go to a restaurant and see tortellini with the bolognese sauce. I don't really mind it. I also don't really love it, but tortellini is fucking delicious. So I really don't care how you cook it. Just call me when you cook it. I really don't care. All right, we're gonna turn this heat down just a little bit because I don't want the pan itself to burn on me. All right. Perfect time to give this guy a little off. All right, guys, questions you have right now while we're sitting here and watching some fucking onions cook. What do you guys got for me? Let's talk, actually, real quick, let's talk about Bastone. So Bastone got pushed back a little bit, so we're looking at December, January now. You could blame the city of Atlanta for that. Thank you, city of Atlanta. You guys are doing fantastic. Also, podcast we drop every single Wednesday. It's going fantastic. Thank you guys for everybody that's watching it and listening to it. We have some cool stuff coming up, actually. We have our own wine coming up. We have a Pinot Grigio and a Prosecco. that we will be selling ourselves, but also selling at the restaurant. So if you guys come by and taste it and you guys really like it, we can sell it to you. Ever since COVID hit, every restaurant in Atlanta is basically also a liquor store. So we can sell you guys cases of it, bottles of it, and we can sell it to you guys at, you know, a slight markup as opposed to a normal markup at the restaurant. So that's fun. We also are working on our own tomatoes. So, you know, we're working with some importers from Italy on bringing some of our own tomatoes in. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. There'll be some Grana or Porchetta Group tomatoes. We're also working on olive oil. So there's a lot in the pipeline that's coming, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And the girl holding the camera, it's gonna be her job to get you all the information, all right? I don't have to do that stuff anymore. It's been many years of social media, I don't wanna do it anymore. All right, a little bit longer. It's funny how just a little bit of garlic, some carrots, some onion, and some celery can taste so good. It really is.
It smells good.
For real. All right, a little bit longer, guys. And what I'm trying to do here is create those little bits right there, because that's where all the flavor is. We talk about that every single time. Don't be afraid of those. That's all the flavor. Once you get all that out, all that is gonna be amazing in your sauce, all right? So move it around just a little bit more. All right, now we're gonna add our white wine, okay? Actually, no, before we add our white wine, we're gonna add our tomato paste. So guys, I don't put tomato sauce in here, I put tomato paste, and I don't put a lot, I put about that much, all right? And I cook it out because this is basically really pungent tomato flavor right now. And if I add all that pungent tomato flavor and I don't cook it out, it's gonna be too tomatoey and nobody's gonna like the way that tastes, all right? Because remember, bolognese is not supposed to have a lot of tomato in it at all. All of our recipes that we do with our bolognese has very little tomato in it. It's actually got tomato paste. And then we usually use milk at Grana, like we talked about. And at White Bull, we use a little bit of mascarpone. So we use mascarpone to cream it up at the end. All right, so cook this out just a little bit more. This is also, guys, how we make chicken stock, right? So we'll roast the bones and then we'll roast our veggies separately. And then what we end up doing is we actually mix our veggies with tomato paste and then roast it again. All right, and it adds that really nice deep color to it. That's what we're looking for. All right, so now we cook that out. We're gonna add our white wine, okay? So it seems like a lot, but you want this, right? You need to sweeten up a little bit. Don't be afraid of all that wine. All right? And then we're gonna cook that till it's literally gone, okay? So it's gonna take a little bit of time as well. But you can already see the color. It's already a darker color. And that's literally from the tomato paste, so it's gonna be great. All right, now take your spoon and give the bottom of the pan a nice little rub, just like that. All right, because that's where all your flavor is. You want all this flavor, right?
I've got a hater who says it's burning.
Who is it?
A Russian person.
Nice. Is it burning though?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But there's always one, you know what I mean? There's always that guy that's got to come on, can't cook for his fucking life, and he's got to talk shit on a live. That's okay. All right. Get in here, stir that up nice. Let that cook down, all right? We're looking for it to be dry, okay? Water's good. Probably not gonna need that guy. Looks fantastic. All right, well, while we're waiting, why don't we cut our basil? Because the basil's the end, all right? We talk about how I like to cut my basil all the time anyway, so let's talk about it. It's getting hot in here. I'm dying. Dying.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Gonna open a window.
I don't know if we can. All right, so hold it this way, just like this. Same thing. You're pulling away from you or towards you, and you're slicing your basil, right? Try not to chop it. You want to slice your basil, all right? You want all of that flavor that's in the basil leaves to continue to be in the basil, because if I leave it on my cutting board, then you might as well just eat the cutting board, and we're not trying to do that, right? That's fucking gross. All right. So everything's ready, and now it's just assembling at the last second, right? Our chicken stock, we're still gonna have to add that. We're gonna have to cook that down a little bit. But you know, just patience, guys. Slow and steady. Get all that nice brown bits off the bottom. That's where all the flavor is. Now we're gonna add our meat. All right. We're gonna cook that meat down in that wine.
Had to kick this guy off.
Nice. Facebook or Instagram?
Off Instagram.
Nice. Good. Bye. Hey guys, you know what? It happens. You know, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right. It's fantastic. Almost there. Cooking this guy down. Get our chicken stock ready because that's next. Just making sure that all your bits of beef and pork are nice and chopped up because you don't want any of those big chunks in there, right? First time to taste, see where we are with salt. We already got salt in there, so make sure you not go too heavy. Good.
Mike said, what's a good wine to drink with this dish?
So, Bolognese from the north, so you want to stick to that area. So for me, Tuscan wine, anything in the Emilia-Romagna area, maybe even Piedmont. So have fun with it. All right, almost there, because again, I want to take this to dry. So when I go and make this later, I'm only going to put 4 ounces in here to make it for you guys. But you would make it with everything you have at home, all right?
Someone said red or white wine.
Either one's good for me, guys. I'm not one of those people that feel like, you know, red and white is you have to stick to that. I love a white wine with this. I wouldn't mind that. You know, there's a lot of fatty stuff in here, so you want something super acidic. It's going to cut through it all. Or you find a red wine that balances it out. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's not one of those things where... you know, again, I don't like to play by the rules that the Italians set all the time because I feel like, you know, it's a very old rule and I feel like nobody should really have to deal with that. But that's just how I feel about it. It's up to you guys. All right, now we're gonna go chicken stock, right? We're gonna put all that chicken stock in. All right, because this is how we're gonna create the sauce now. So again, guys, normally if I had another pan going or anything like that, it'd be easier for me to just sit here and have this chicken stock boiling, and I could have reduced it down already a little bit. So we're gonna take a little bit of time to do this, but we move pretty fast here, so not really worried. All right, so you can already see the color of this, right? It's got that chicken stocky, tomatoey color to it, and that was from that little bit. That's all we put in there for tomato paste. We didn't put a lot, all right? Reduce that. I'm gonna let that guy down before we run out of water. That would suck. Yeah, sit here and boil it. Yeah, but now I gotta boil it again. This thing took an hour to boil. All right. that guy cook, okay? Take a little bit of time. So now, the last remaining ingredients, guys, we have is a little bit of butter, all right? Parmesan cheese, of course, because this dish is from that area, and mascarpone. So mascarpone is not one of those more traditional things that go in the bolognese. I really like it. It makes it super creamy at the end, and that's what I'm looking for, all right? You could easily go and cook it just like this now, and don't put anything else in here and cook it that way, and that's fine as well with a little bit of butter in it, but that's just not how I do it. So I'm gonna show you guys the way I do things. And then of course we have this beautiful tagliatelle that Miss Sylvia made for me today at the last minute because I forgot to tell her, and that's why I love Sylvia. She always takes care of me when I need her to. Is she still in there?
I believe so, yes.
Sylvia, tell everybody about your new pasta machine, Sylvia. That thing is crazy. Tell everybody how big that thing is and how fast it makes pasta.
She says she loves you too.
Good. Alright, this is going to take a little bit of time. We want that to reduce down. Same thing, we're going to take it really, really, really low because we're going to use some pasta water to make it really creamy at the last second, right? And so I add butter and everything, plus I want to put a little less in the pan and not have to do it this way.
Elise's asked where you are right now.
So we are in Grant Park at a building that houses 360 Media. We will be using some of their office space as we're growing our company because we're not really at the point where we can be leasing our own spaces yet, but we'll get there eventually. So we're gonna have a little space here where we can do things like this and then also film my podcast so we're not really bothered all the time at Grana and or White Bull. One of the hardest things is when you're in the restaurants is everybody wants to talk to you, and sometimes it's hard to get any work done, so we need to get out of the restaurants every once in a while. So it's going to be one of those things that's going to be nice to just get away 1 or 2 days a week, get all your work done, and not have to worry about people running up to you asking you questions. They can text me, which is fun. Because I like to be around for my staff. I think it's important. I think it's important for the staff to see me working with them all the time, being in the restaurant. But sometimes you just really need to get some work done, and it's very hard to do it when you're sitting down and it's like, and you have headphones on. It's like, chef, yes. And you put them back in. It's very hard. It's like when you're at the gym, you have headphones on, and people walk up to you, ask you a question. It's like, beat it, bro. I'm busy. I'm in the zone. All right, let's give this a taste. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. I'm like, that's it. Alright, a little bit of salt, not a lot. Just want to keep the seasoning party going. Again, so easy to add more, so hard to take it out. By adding a lot of fat, and if you can tell, we don't have much to fix it, but we do have olive oil, so I could always do that. I just don't want to do that, right? No reason to when you could just go nice and easy on your seasoning.
Someone said, I'm currently watching this from the gym so I can cook it later.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's fantastic. But leave your headphones on so nobody bothers you, because then you know what I'm talking about. All right, we're getting there. Guys, if you don't have tagliatelle, I despise penne with the fire of 1,000 suns. I love rigatoni, but I would do this with rigatoni. Cavatelli, and you want to do tortellini, pappardelle. You want to do spaghetti, that's fine. I think for me, spaghetti doesn't have enough of a width on it, so it's going to lose the bolognese on it, where this will catch it nicely. So you just, play by ear, see which pasta you like the most, and go with that. Paccheri is really good with this. Those really big rigatonis, those are really good with them. So, I mean, it's up to you. Again, try to stay away from certain ones. Like, I wouldn't really do spaghetti. I definitely wouldn't do penne. But, give it a shot. See which pasta you like and go from there. Almost there, guys. Give this guy another taste. So I'll show you guys all the tricks to this at the end, because I showed you guys before, but I like to finish all my pastas with olive oil. I'm going to show you how to get the creamy texture to this pasta by using some cheese in here and then mascarpone. I used to make this pomodoro sauce at Grana. I ended up never making it on the menu for some reason. But the sauce was probably one of the best tomato sauces you ever had because at the end it was finished with butter, Parmesan cheese, olive oil, and basil. It was incredible. But I was a little more afraid of people screwing it up, so that's why I took it off the menu. Never really made it to their actual menu. Alright, almost there, guys, I promise. If you guys could tell, I haven't eaten all day. I'm fucking starving, so that's why I want to get every bite I can out of this. Alright, I'm gonna cook that down a little bit more. So, when we're at the restaurant, I tell the chefs, after this is all in here, I want you to cook it down till it's dry. I want the pasta water to do the work. Pasta water is what's gonna add the seasoning to it, it's what's gonna make it creamy, it's what's gonna make it delicious. But all of that reduction, all that chicken stock, that wine, everything like that, that's all seeped into every piece of carrot, every piece of meat, everything like that. So the minute you hit it with the pasta water, it's gonna come back out. All right, because all of that flavor is reduced right into this, and that's what you're looking for, okay? Getting there, promise. Sorry. Should have my chicken stock reducing, but I don't have any more burgers. All right, nowhere else to go, guys. I got kicked out of my own restaurant today. Fucking sad. But you know what? Sam's not watching because Sam's away, but she booked a party on the mezzanine, so I can't be mad at her. All right. But yeah, Sam's away. She's not working, so let's give her some shit for it, okay? Next time you see her, or some of you guys DM her, look back at a couple of my Instagram posts, you'll find Sam on there. DM her and let her know, you guys really like it when I cook at the restaurant. Or not. This is a lot quieter here. You could probably actually hear me. It's really not that bad. I feel like I'm screaming when I'm at the restaurant. But it would have been nice right now to pour myself a nice glass of wine while I'm sitting here cooking.
There's one right there.
Yeah, I can't do that though. I'd have to leave a 20 on the thing. Here you go, Tara. Thanks for the wine. She probably knew all the comments, so she hid the corkscrew. It's all right. I can teach you guys how to open up a bottle of wine one day with a shoe.
I have a bottle of wine.
No, nice. I can show you how to open one with a shoe. It's pretty impressive. Actually went to cook one time at Old Edwards Inn in North Carolina, and as my gift when I got there, because I was one of the chefs that got invited to cook, they put a bottle of wine in my room with no corkscrew. So I literally had to do it with my shoe and the wine. You take the peeling off and you bang it on the wall really hard, and the cork pops out. And I ended up making a mess because I didn't, you're doing it and you want wine, so I mean, you're not really paying attention, right? So you didn't realize how far the cork was out, and then all of a sudden, took a nice red wine bath. It was okay.
Sylvia says she loves the restaurant sound in the background, and it's too quiet today. We need Italian music.
I need Italian music? It's okay, Sylvia. We'll do a poll at the end. Amelia will put one up. If you want me to continue to do them here, or if you want me to do them at the restaurant because you like how loud it is. Plus, we always get interrupted, which is fine. Ryan pops in, Sam pops in, Nick pops in, Scott. Chef Elliott hasn't popped in yet, though, I don't feel like.
Too busy at the pass.
Yeah, we'll get him to pop in one day. So, next week, guys, I'm away. I'm in New York. But I'm going to try to figure out a way to do one there somehow. If we can. If we can't, then we're going to probably miss it. I may end up doing one on Sunday. I don't know yet. But we'll see. I like to keep these going because they're fun. Last week we were really busy with San Gennaro, and it was really hard for me to do them. But guys, whoever came to San Gennaro, thank you so much. It was absolutely amazing. We did over 1,000 people. It was fantastic. Next year it's going to be even bigger, even better. We're gonna do some more live music. It's going to be a really good time, and we're going to start booking all of that stuff now because we want to start a year out this time. Amelia made a San Gennaro ATL Instagram page, so if you guys have a second, please follow it because you're going to start seeing a bunch of stuff on there. We're actually going to New York City to go to San Gennaro Festival, so maybe we'll post a couple things from there and see who did it better type thing. Eventually we'll get to a point where we carry San Gennaro somewhere around the city, but we're not there yet. But the accordion guy stole my soul that day because I love that guy so much. When I die one day, I want to come back as him for sure. He was fantastic. He was listening to the music on the radio or on the speakers and then looked at me, winked, and said he could play it better, and then actually played it better. It's pretty ridiculous.
Sylvia really says to do the live at in your mom's kitchen.
In where?
In your mom's kitchen.
Yeah, I can. I don't know if my mom's going to want me to, though. She says I'm a mess. My mom doesn't really like to cook with me. She said that I don't have a built-in dishwasher that comes around and cleans up after me, so I don't know if that's going to work. All right, we're almost there, guys, I promise. Sorry that it's taking so long. But you can't rush perfection, you know? Again, starving. As you can tell, my spoonfuls are getting larger every time. Boy's hungry. That was a good one. Not really good. All right, a little more. And then after, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna turn the camera on Amelia. She's gonna take a bite, and she's gonna tell that stunad if this shit's actually burnt or not. Okay, because I'm still fueling about that, but I'm gonna keep it to myself, all right?
Chef Jesus Alba said, looking good, chef.
Thank you, my man. I think I'm almost down 100 pounds. I'm trying.
The Rad Nep said, can you do a pesto dish one week?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Basil, or do you want me to just make up a pesto? Because, I mean, there's some really good arugula and walnut ones we can do. There's a lemon mint one I love. You tell me which kind you want me to do, and we'll do it. We could actually make the pasta too if we want to, instead of just using just a generic spaghetti or something like that. There's a video we did on Instagram with troffie, which I kind of just taught myself because it was one of the most pain in the ass pastas to learn how to make. But it came out really good.
Elise said that Anthony dirties every dish as well.
Yeah, I know, Elise. You invited us to the house, and I saw what Anthony did to your house, and I'm sorry. I politely declined every single invite since because I felt bad that after we left, you probably had to clean. But I don't know if you spoke to Carm, but October 3rd is a special day. Why don't you shoot him a DM and have him tell you what's going to happen. All right, this is as thick as I'm going to take this guy down. All right, just like that. Now, we're going to take this, turn it off for a second, all right? Now, without burning Amelia in here, I'm going to put this down. We're going to swap these pans, okay? So this guy's going to go here. This guy's going to go here. All right. Now, put this back on. Really low. All right, just like that. And now we're going to take our spoon. We're going to take a little bit of this. Put it back in this pan. Okay? About half because it's going to serve two. So about that much. All right, put that back down. You can use that later. I'm gonna eat this because I'm starving. No, good. All right, now, salty pasta water, right? You're gonna take some of that. You're gonna add it in here, just like this. So this is where your real seasoning happens, right? Because we didn't really season it a lot before, right? So I just added that salty water. Delicious, you're fine. Now, it's on low. I throw in my 1.5 little nubs of butter, okay? Now, while that's doing that, we're gonna drop our pasta, okay? So, this was made fresh today, so we gotta be careful, right? Because it could get stuck. We're gonna make sure we get all that sticky part out. We're gonna drop it right into it. So, see all of this flour that's on here? That's good, right? Because we want all that starch. All that starch is gonna come off that pasta, go right into our sauce, and make this really thick, okay? So I'm going to turn this heat up just a little bit, not a lot. All right, and then using the spoon, get that nice and creamy, all right? So guys, this pasta is gonna cook very fast because literally it was made today. So that's literally done already, okay? So we're gonna take that, get a little bit more pasta water in there, take it, go a little bit more in here, all right, and then right inside. Now, when you put this on here, you can turn the heat up just a little bit more, and you're gonna start to stir this into your pasta sauce, all right? You're not good and you're not happy until this gets nice and creamy. As you can see, the pasta is still al dente, right? But we're looking for that. We're not looking for mush, okay? But if you go to an Italian restaurant, you order a pasta and it comes out mushy, don't even pay the check and leave and just send me the bill. I'll take care of it. And then come eat at my restaurant because it's awful. There's nothing worse than mushab pasta. All right. So this is getting nice and creamy. All that starch is coming out of the tagliatelle. All right. Butter's nice and incorporated. Get this all nice. You can see how creamy that is already. Look at that. Just keep moving it around just like this. You don't got to worry about being so gentle with it. It's not going to break on you. All right. I'm going to add another pasta water spoonful. 2. I want this to cook down a little bit more, okay? Really nice and creamy. You want to get this. Almost there. Again, guys, look at this. It's not red, right? Because that's a meat sauce. This is Bolognese. It's different, all right? So now, let's finish this, okay? Heat off. You don't want your heat on anymore. Take your basil. Put it in there. I like basil, all right? Mascarpone. Don't be scared. Throw a nice little amount in there, okay? Olive oil. Again, don't be nervous. You're not going to ruin it, okay? Now you're going to emulsify all this, okay? So the same movement we were just doing, where we took that pasta and we're stirring it, we're going to do it again. Stir it up nice, just like this. You can see how good that looks already. So now guys, again, Bolognese, when you're making it, it's not supposed to be completely covered in that meat sauce, okay? It's supposed to have pasta. You want to taste the pasta. This is 100% egg yolk pasta, right? So you want to taste the pasta. You also want to taste the Bolognese. But if I do too much on there, you're not going to taste either one, all right? Really stir this up nice. Now let's taste it, see where we're at. Again, starting. So I may take a bigger piece than I normally would. All right, get in there. All right, a little parm. One more stir. And again, guys, I'm sorry, I don't have a plate today, but I don't think we need one, right? I mean, you can kind of see how good that is. And then we're gonna do, to finish, we're gonna put the rest of that basil, because why throw that out, right? Parm, because it's fantastic, and why throw that out, all right? And then a little bit more olive oil on top. All right, now, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the fork, we're gonna hand it to Amelia, okay? Just so I could prove a point to that fucko from before, okay? Now, you tell me the truth. Is this salty? I'm sorry, is it burnt? Definitely ain't fucking salty. Not burnt, right? So listen, again, you don't have haters. You're not doing anything right. But if he was still on here, I'd give him a little bit more peace of my mind. All right? Trophy al pesto, I'll make it for you, no problem. With the green beans and the potato, I got you. No worries. Guys, thank you so much. Again, I haven't eaten all day, so I'm probably going to eat all this right now. And we'll see you hopefully next week. I don't know if it's going to be Thursday or Sunday. We'll figure it out. But thank you always, guys, for tuning in. Thank you.